So if you're like me, you get distracted pretty easily, and you may be talking to somebody and you're nodding your head like you're understanding them, but your mind is somewhere else. Like when you get to go home and relax on the couch, and when you get to go home and turn on that TV. And I used to have a big problem with this, of my mind just being somewhere else at all times. It was mainly when I was in school, and I would just be focused on golf when I was younger, and when I went to college, it would be my mind focused on when I got to go home and go out to the parties and go out to the bars. It was always somewhere else. And what I'm realizing is that it's this act of your mind being somewhere else that is hijacking your brain from being focused. And so I've really had to work on this over my journey of like self-improvement, and then eventually becoming an entrepreneur. And it's something that is a skill that needs to be developed, which is just being able to be more present in the moment and focusing on what you're doing at hand. And it goes really deep. And what I'm realizing is that to be productive throughout the day, it has nothing to do with how many check marks you're checking off the box, how many tasks you're doing throughout the day. It's really about how deep you can go into the tasks you're doing. It's the depth of what you're doing and the depth of understanding you're gaining from what you're doing, if that makes sense. And that's what focus actually is. Focus also is not this mystical state of being. What focus actually is being aware of your distractions. It's being aware of those times when your mind is thinking about you going home and laying on the couch, you getting to go on that vacation, and being in a different place than you're at now. It's you starting to become aware of these things and realizing that you're not at these places, you're actually here in the present moment. And that's what focus actually is. It's more so about awareness. And so there's a lot of things that are hijacking our brain. It starts with notifications, but it also goes deeper. It's also, when you're on your computer and clicking on different tabs that are unintentional, and you're kind of just mindlessly zoning out and going down these rabbit holes. There's levels to this awareness. Focus is doing the thing that you're doing at hand, and it's almost taking out everything that's not the thing that you're doing at hand. And to be honest with you, I feel like I've actually kind of been getting distracted during this video. I'm thinking about how I'm sounding. I'm thinking about how my words are coming off. And I'm thinking about if what I'm saying is making sense. And so this is one of those distractions that was just hijacking my brain. I'm becoming more aware of this during my journey of entrepreneurship because, I'm trying to go more deep into my tasks, and I'm trying to not fill up my day with a bunch of micro tasks, like checking emails, checking the comments on YouTube videos, doing things that sound productive and they feel good. They give you that little hit of oh, I did something, but they're not actually needle moving tasks. And what I mean by needle moving tasks is that you actually put effort into tasks. You spend some time doing this task and you go deep into it. And that's what I'm really working on. For example, to make YouTube videos, I have to record. So one of the tasks is speaking. And so I'm trying to get deeper into the speaking, be more present while I'm speaking, be focused while I'm speaking, and that's something that I'm working on. And also increase the amount of time that I can speak so I can just practice this skill of speaking better. So it's the depth of this practice that is focus, if that makes sense. At least that's how I understand it right now. And then also I have to script these videos and I have to write a script for it. So it's the depth of, time that I'm spending on the script, and it's how good that I can make the script. It's how much effort that I can put on the script, And then while I'm doing these work tasks, anything that's not related to these work tasks is a distraction. If I'm recording and then my phone goes off and I go over and pick up my phone, then I just got distracted and then I lost that depth of focus. Same thing if I was writing and I was scripting the video. If my phone went off and my brain just got hijacked, then I would have lost that depth of focus. That's really what I'm learning about what focus actually is, and it's getting rid of everything that's not what you're doing. And then I also just want to share with you these tools that I've learned on how to get more in this focused state. So the first one that I've been using recently is distraction journaling. And what this is say you're working and you have like a task that you're working on. Next to you want to have a notebook or a journal, and you can title it distraction journal and put the date. And what you're going to do is anytime you notice that you just got distracted, whether you got up and checked your phone or you realized you were scrolling on social media while you're working, then just write that down. Just write a bullet point and say, I just checked my phone. There's going to be a lot of distractions that you realize. Like today, I'm looking at my desk right now and I can see the list is already like 15 bullet points. I got distracted by 15 things already. And so all of these things are things that are unrelated to the task that I'm doing. So that's way less focused when I have these distractions. And so distraction journaling is something that's helping me out right now. And then something that's simple, but that you can't forget is to turn off your notifications when you're working. It's not important to have like YouTube or social media notifications on. It's not important to necessarily have your messages on, honestly, if you're working. I mean, if it's your work phone and you need to check your work messages, I get that. But, keep your personal communication to personal communication time after work. And you want to have scheduled times where you go on your phone and check, the messages that you need to, check the emails that you need to. It will be more intentional. It won't be an act of you getting a notification and then your brain getting hijacked and then you checking that. It's more of an act of, okay, I scheduled my time to look at my phone at 12 o'clock today. And then I also scheduled a time at 5 o'clock today to check my phone. And then lastly, I scheduled a time before I go to bed to check my phone. And this is when I can do personal communication. This is when I can text my family and friends. And I know it sounds kind of strict and rigid, but you'll find that you're going to start getting way more depth out of your work when you're not being hijacked at all times by your phone's notifications. To start off, at least turn off the social media notifications. At least do that. Maybe keep your email notifications on if you really need to, but I would suggest even turning those off if you can on your phone and having more scheduled times where you check these things. And if you really want to get rigid about it, you can even delete social media, which I have social media deleted. I have YouTube on my phone still, but other than that, I don't have any social media on my phone. So that's a big thing. Another mindset that has helped me out is thinking in terms of minutes throughout the day. So instead of thinking of your day as 24 hours, actually start thinking in terms of minutes. And so it's like, what do I have to get done in this next minute? Think about how powerful that is. Like if I'm thinking about that right now, I'm thinking I just have this small window of this next minute. And now I'm way more engaged. It's like I have this thing I want to say, part of my YouTube script in this minute, and I'm going to try to fit that in. It keeps your mind way more active if you think in terms of minutes. And so that was just a visualization that has helped me out recently. And I think there's like 1,400 minutes, 1,400 something minutes in a day. So if you could be present during every single one of those minutes and just really maximize every single minute, it sounds crazy, but if you start thinking at that level, you're going to be way more engaged and intense in what you're doing, which is a good thing. And speaking of engaged, be more engaged with what you're doing. The way that I do this is I focus on, right now I'm focusing on my voice. I'm focusing on this light. I'm focusing on just kind of the visualization of this camera, or the view of this camera that I'm looking at. I know it kind of sounds weird, but take into account your environment around you and you'll be more present and engaged with what you're doing. So that will help. And then schedule your days. Know what you're doing at all times. I recently created a schedule for myself about 2 or 3 weeks in advance of what I would be doing at every single hour of every single day. And the key is for me to open up the schedule, have a good understanding of what I'm going to be doing, and just follow it as disciplined as I can. It's just a great tool because then you don't really have to think. You're not really thinking, what am I going to be doing? You already know. And so this whole not having to think, it's just a more sense of like relief, I guess, of feeling like you don't know what you're going to be doing at this time, or you don't know what to do next. You totally get rid of those thoughts. And so therefore, you're able to be more present and engage with what you're doing when you have this tool of scheduling your days in advance. So I use Google Calendar and also Notion. That's a good tool. They have a good calendar, Notion. So you can check those out. And yeah, I really think they're good tools. So first thing you wake up in the morning, you can just check those calendars and understand what you're going to be doing for the day. So another thing is to clean your environment and have an organized environment. If you have wires all over the place, if you have water bottles all over the place and like wrappers and junk, your mind is going to be distracted. Your mind just sees all these things and it's thinking about them subconsciously. And so have a more organized environment when you're working and just in your daily life. So what you can do, some things that have helped me clean up my desk and environment, is I got a pen box for myself. So I used to have my pens just on my desk, like spread out. And that was a big distraction. I didn't really like the look of it. So I bought a pen box. I mean, it's a simple thing, but now I have my pens in the box and it's a better, cleaner feeling. And then also an organization bin that I put all my wires in and chargers and like laptop camera when I'm not using it. And it's more like simplistic and it's like less of a distraction. And then lastly, a bookshelf. I recently bought a bookshelf. It's a place where I can put all my books in. It's just this better organized feeling, like all my books are in one place now, not on my desk, not here, in different places. So that will really help you with getting distracted. And then also another thing is, if you have these tasks that you have to do, they're micro tasks, like things that are annoying to do, but you can't keep on pushing off. You don't really want to do it, but you can't not do it. And an example of this is yesterday I had to order an air fryer basket because our air fryer basket broke and it got like burnt for some reason, and then I had to order another one, and I knew it was a task that I had to do. It was annoying, but it took like 5 minutes, and so I just got it off my plate and just got it out of the way. So if you have any of those like pending tasks that you know you have to do, then just get it off your plate right away, because it's less of a distraction in your mind. Another big tool is learning to sit still, learning to meditate. And when you meditate, you're really learning to gain awareness of your thoughts and your mind wandering, and you're learning to really notice your distractions. The easiest way and simple way to explain meditation is to sit down on a chair, keep your back straight, and just focus on your breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, and just focus on the air coming in and the air going out. And that's all you're focusing on. What you'll find is that your mind is going to start thinking about other things. Like, you're going to be overthinking about things you said in the past, and you're going to be thinking about things you have to do in the future. But all you have to do is just return your focus back onto your breath. And so mindfulness is one of those helpful things. And listen to music. I used to think that music was a distraction, and I never wanted to listen to music because it was like an external stimulus when I was working. But what I'm realizing is that music sometimes helps me get in the zone when I'm writing and when I'm scripting these videos, and also just when I'm doing like any sort of like writing tasks. So music can help out. The thing that you need to remember though is that music with lyrics can be distracting. So anything with like lyrics and words will distract you away from what you're doing. So you want it to be music that doesn't have any like lyrics or words, and just like upbeat focus music. And so a tool for that I recently found is Brain.fm. That's been helping me out. I've been listening to focus music, and it helps me when I'm writing the scripts for these videos. The last thing would be to take frequent breaks and keep your work blocks, like the tasks that you're doing, keep it to, an hour and a half or 2, maybe even 3 at most. But there's a certain point where your brain just does lose focus. 3 hours of focused work is a long time when you're actually like deep into the work. So it could be good to take a quick break, like 10-15 minutes. You know, you can walk around your room, walk around your office, or go outside real quick, you know, stretch your body, move around, get your mind going. You could also take, you know, a water break, get hydrated, and then you should be ready to do another work session. So take frequent breaks. And yeah, what you need to remember is that focus, it's not this mystical thing that you just like develop. What it's really about is getting rid of your distractions, getting rid of the things that are hijacking your brain and keeping you from being focused. And being focused is simply just being engaged in the present moment. You just need to start becoming more aware of when your mind's wandering, and you need to be more aware of when you're thinking about thoughts and things that are not related to what you're actually doing. Hopefully these help with helping your brain not get so hijacked by all the external things. But yeah, hopefully you got some value out of this. And then also, I just started a new free school community. It's a place where you can go and get some more accountability to being more productive and also gaining more control of your time. So if you're interested in that, you could check on the link in the description. Thanks for watching.